All righty, let's go to Group E then. You're flying through this.
Yeah.
Germany upset by Japan 2-1. Phenomenal. Spain embarrassing Costa Rica 7-0. Do we need to talk about the we actually might. Talk to me about your
Yeah.
most impressive team.
I went with Spain on this one. I know.
Darn it, I was hoping you'd go the other way.
Yeah, Japan definitely is a shout for most impressive, but Spain just looked so good when they played. And when I was looking up ratings for this team too, the biggest tell for me was the fact that there was one player on the team with an 8.0 rating, but the lowest outside outfield player was like a 7.2. Like everybody was like a 7.5 to like 8.0 rating because just everybody across the field was so good. Everybody was contributing. They looked like they just meshed well, like so well together. The team just played beautifully out there. And I get it that Costa Rica really shouldn't be at this World Cup. Is like this team is just not good enough. But Spain looked so good.
I agree. And I want to take a moment. This is a very important moment because I need to apologize to a lot of different listeners out there right now. I went big brain and my big brain blew up on me. I predicted that if there were any team that was going to flop with talent, it was going to be Spain. My guess, my only logical explanation is that Alvaro Morata was watching our TikToks. He heard us slander Spain, and then he said, bet. And then they went out and did that. That's the only explanation, really. I mean, I guess Pedri also could have been watching. He's a bit younger and more of his thing. Maybe Gavi, but somebody somewhere saw what I had to say and wanted to make me look silly. Goodness me. I am sorry. I was wrong. Spain are legit. And they're losing the next two games. They're getting knocked out. What?
Oh, wow. I think a lot of things have to go wrong for them to get knocked out.
At 7-0, that'd be scenes. Nope, I was wrong. I am sorry. I am all aboard the Spain hype train. Let's see what happens. 3-0 by halftime, touchdown by the end of it, 82% possession. Oh my God.
It was bad. Costa Rica didn't even have a shot.
Oh my God. 17 shots to Costa Rica, 0. Unbelievable numbers.
It was like
And
nine
again,
nine shot or 8 shots on target and 7 went in. I think I don't know if you want to call it like I don't want to say it was the best performance World Cup performance ever, but I feel like for Costa Rica, that might have genuinely been the worst World Cup performance ever. Like in a
so,
game.
so here's what really hurts, right? We spent a good 4.5 minutes talking about how disrespected and underrated Keylor Navas was for
Yeah, I
him to
know.
show up and have the worst game of his entire life starting the World Cup. I had the buddy who had called him out for being not good, and started that whole conversation. Made sure for a fact that I did not forget. Oh man, it did that hurt. That one hurt. That whole day hurt. I can't remember what I was doing. Might have been in class or doing something. I missed the game. Um, yeah, we talked about it how they're and this is only going to happen more frequently, by the way, as we expand to, what are we at? We're at 32 right now. When we expand to 40 or 50, however many they're going to expand to, it's only going to get worse when you bring in teams like I'm trying to
When you
think who was
bring
on the
in more
bubble.
CONCACAF teams.
I was like, think about if they give CONCACAF an extra spot. Who's next? Nicaragua, El
Panama.
Salvador,
It's gonna be Panama,
Panama.
who
That's
who
right. It'll
lost
be
like
Panama.
5-0 the World Cup before.
Correct. it's just going to get worse. Yeah, there's not much more to say about this. Spain was uberly impressive with a very, very large shout out to Japan as well.
Yes.
Fantastic result. Um, love that from the team who somebody predicted to go through. I don't remember who. Oh, wait, that was me, wasn't it?
Take it while you can because you predicted Spain out, and that's not
You're
looking so
dang
hot.
right I am. I have to. I have to.
All right,
My
should we talk
prediction.
about least impressive? I feel like
We
this one's
definitely
also up for
can.
debate.
We definitely can. Tell me which one you're gonna go.
I went Costa Rica because
Oh yes, we have something different.
yeah, you can talk about Germany. Listen, at the end of the day, Germany had a good performance and just didn't pull off the win. Costa Rica genuinely just would have been better off forfeiting this game because 7-0, they had 8 shots on target. It means one save was made. You had 0 shots and 18% possession. That, like I said before, they only had 230 passes in this game compared to Spain's 1,045 passes. I mean, like genuinely, someone like I'm sure there's probably some like 1930s game of like some team that literally like picked some guys off the street to like bring to the World Cup. That was probably worse, but at least in modern era, this has got to be the worst performance in a World Cup game ever.
I'm gonna do some research on that, but listen, I went with Germany here. I know Costa Rica got battered, got embarrassed. You're right. If they forfeited, they'd have 0 stats and they'd only lose 3-0. It would have been way better.
Would have had the same number of shots.
Literally. Um, but I went with Germany because nobody expected Costa Rica to win that game. However, everybody expected Germany to at least get a point here. Um, sorry, that's not right.
Well, that's not right.
Uh,
You must
going
be
back
looking
to
at
what we
your
were talking about.
predictions.
No, going back to what we were talking about. The disgrace of Gijón was what came up when I asked what was the worst World Cup game of all time. You do the research while I finish talking here.
Okay.
Everybody predicted Costa Rica to get beat. Maybe not that badly, but I don't think anybody expected them to go in and get a result against Spain, except maybe who predicted 2-2? Did you? I think you did.
No, I think I predicted Germany to win.
Somebody predicted 2-2 in our group. Nobody expected Germany to do what they did. It sent me directly back to 2018. This felt like Germany double the shots, 75% possession, dominating the air game, couldn't convert a goal. They got the pen to get them ahead, and they couldn't hold the lead. To, again, take nothing away from Japan. Great game, great result, great performance. But this is Germany's game to win, and they threw it away. I think Schlotterbeck in the center back role was very, very poor. I think he had a terrible game. Neuer was not the same Neuer we know and love. He didn't come off his line. He didn't claim crosses. He didn't do a lot. Havertz couldn't score a goal if he tried. We know they're missing Werner, but every team's got massive injuries. That's not an excuse. They have world-class players all around them. They were extremely underwhelming and disappointing. Germany, my least impressive team through the first game. Who stood out for you?
So this was also kind of a tough one because I feel like you could pick anybody on Spain and genuinely have like a decent shout, but I feel like everybody on Spain was good, so it was hard to kind of pick out like a standout player amongst them. So I actually went with someone from Japan here. I went with Shuichi Ganda on this in this case. Like I said before, Germany honestly dominated most of the game. And numbers wise, it's surprising that they didn't walk away with at least a point, let alone three. And I think Shuichi Ganda had a huge play in that. He had 8 saves in that game. Um, and Germany had an over 3 xG. It was, it's shocking that they didn't get more goals than they actually did. And I think I certainly was not expecting a performance like that from Japan's goalkeeper in that game, let alone in probably any game in their World Cup group stage. Um, I think he easily won them that game. And if they move on to the next round, they certainly have him to thank.
I love that. I didn't pick him. I did go with a Spain player because of what you said, but I love that. He was fantastic. He was phenomenal. Everything you love about a goalkeeper who's playing against world-class players is that's what he showed. Brilliant. Love it. For me, Dani Olmo for Spain, 1 goal, 1 assist, 4 shots, 2 tackles, 88% pass accuracy. I mean, he did it all. So again, you could have picked anybody in that Spain team, really. I completely agree, except for maybe the guys who didn't play. But even then, they were probably better than some of the Costa Rica players. By the way, before we move on, your biggest World Cup result: Hungary 10, El Salvador 1, 1982. Hungary 9, South Korea 0, 1954. That was when Puskas was still with the team. Yugoslavia 9, Zaire 0, 1974. The only African team in the 1974 World Cup, funny enough. Sweden 8, Cuba 0, 1938. Uruguay 8, Bolivia 0, 1950. Germany 8, Saudi Arabia 0, 2002. And then a bunch of 7-0s. So it's up there, but not that far up.
I'm not saying that's necessarily like the most goal differential game, but just how dead Costa Rica were in the game. Just like I pulled up another game just as a comparison. I saw Portugal won 7-0 versus North Korea in 2010. Side note, I can't believe North Korea was in a World Cup.
I do remember this game,
What?
actually. I remember
Yeah,
that game.
Portugal won this game 7-0. But if you look at the numbers of the game, North Korea had 45% possession. They had 15 shots, 4 on goal. Versus Costa Rica, who had 18% possession, 0 shots, period, let alone on goal. I feel like it's two completely different 7-0 games.
I want to say that I saw something. I don't know if it was real or not. But yeah, there it is. In North Korea's TV broadcast of that game, they didn't show the end of it. They cut it short. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm
they
surprised
were
they
up
showed it
four
at
nothing.
all.
They were up 4-0 in North Korea when, due to embarrassment, the government cut the broadcast short. It was after the 60th minute when Thiago scored. No one in the country saw the other 3 goals was 7-0. So
Maybe
that's how they.
everybody in the country thinks they only lost 4-0.
Well, so I mean, I saw other things that were like, oh, they posted it in the papers that North Korea won 3-2 or something like that. But yeah, that was funny. Do you have anything else for Group E?
I mean, technically, you could literally do a fact or fiction for every single one of these teams, but I don't want to be here all night, so I'm good.
I'm about to say, I think we're moving at a pretty good pace here, and
Yeah, we could just keep
we
going.
we cover a lot of that anyway, just in the way that we talk
Yeah,
about them.
that's true.